Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something we all sort of take for granted, the daily grind of public transportation. We're talking buses and trains.
Right, and we're looking at this from a very specific angle. We've pulled together sources that are all about the lived experience of the traveler.
So this isn't about, engine specs or timetables.
No, not at all. Our mission today is to really unpack that dance you do in a shared space.
Hmm.
We want to distill what you actually need to know to get by, from the mechanics of the vehicle to the unwritten rules that stop it all from descending into chaos.
And this is for you, whether you're a daily commuter or maybe you're just visiting a new city and staring at a metro map for the first time. We want to give you the phrases, the mindset, everything to make you feel like you belong there.
And we really have to start at the biggest pain point, which is rush hour. I mean, the sources don't just call it busy. They call it the worst time to travel.
Oh, I can feel that.
Yeah. Picture a 7:30 a.m. train.
Yeah.
You're almost guaranteed to be standing for, what, 30 minutes, just packed in shoulder to shoulder with everyone.
That's a huge psychological drain before you even start your workday.
Exactly. And that discomfort, it leads right to the #1 strategy that all the sources point to. Just avoid it.
If you can.
If you can, absolutely. Traveling in the afternoon or using any flexibility you have. It's the most important thing you can do. The journey is just transformed from this ordeal into something manageable.
Okay, so let's get into the environment itself. Let's start with the train, the anatomy of the train car, because that design really dictates how people behave, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And what's so fascinating is the seating. You've got your normal forward-facing seats, sure, but then you have these seats that face each other.
The face-to-face seats, the source material talks about this a lot, right? The awkwardness.
It's a real social tension. You're looking directly at a stranger for, like you
Yeah.
said, maybe 30 minutes. It feels invasive.
Yeah, and that's why some people choose to stand even if there's a seat free. I get that.
hmm They're choosing the physical discomfort of standing over the social discomfort of that awkward eye contact.
Then if you are standing, you have to know what you're doing. Those handles hanging from the ceiling, the hand straps.
Hand straps are critical.
Yeah.
They're not optional. You have to hold on, or you're going to fall when the train suddenly stops or speeds up.
It also seems like there's a strategy to where you stand.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
The savvy commuters, they always stand near the door. It's not just for convenience, it's a real exit strategy.
So you don't have to push through everyone to get off.
Exactly. You can just slip out easily without having to fight through that crowd in the middle.
Now, one thing about trains is they are predictable. They stop at every single station on the line.
Right. And you have those announcements, next stop, Central Station. They're often in multiple languages, too, which is, a huge help for tourists.
So the train is sort of this fixed, predictable system. But the bus, that's a whole different story.
It's a completely different world. You move from this rigid railway to a vehicle that's constantly negotiating its environment. And that changes everything.
Starting with how you get on and pay.
Right. The driver is right there. You get on through the front door, and you either pay the driver directly or, more often now, you scan your card.
And you have to listen for that beep.
You have to listen for the boop. That's your confirmation. No beep, no ride.
And right there at the front of the bus, you have those priority seats.
The priority seats, yeah. They're a physical sign of that social contract we talked about. They are strictly reserved for the elderly, for pregnant women, people with disabilities.
And the sources are really clear on this, right? It's not a suggestion.
No, it's an absolute expectation. If you're in one of those seats and someone who needs it gets on, you get up immediately. It's just a basic measure of respect.
But the biggest difference mechanically between a bus and a train has to be how it stops.
This is the critical thing to know. A train stops everywhere, automatically. A bus only stops if you tell it to.
So you have to find that stop button.
You have to find the red or yellow stop button and press it. That's the signal to the driver. If you forget or you don't press it in time.
You're going to the next stop, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. You could be a mile down the road. It shows how the bus is so much more flexible, but that flexibility puts the responsibility on you, the rider.
Okay, so we've got the mechanics down. Let's talk about the human side, the communication, the friction that happens.
Right. And navigating those crowded spaces requires some basic verbal skills. The phrase, excuse me, is like your universal key.
It's for everything. It's for getting past someone. It's for getting their attention.
It's a polite way to just interrupt their space for a second. And on a train, you're often relying on other passengers for help. Asking something like, does this train go to Central Station?
Or, I like this tip from the sources, asking someone, can you tell me when we get to Park Street? You're kind of politely outsourcing your own awareness.
You are. It's a smart move. But on the bus, the communication is a bit different because you have the driver right there.
The sources mention saying hello or good morning when you get on.
Yeah, just acknowledging them as a person, not a machine, and saying thank you when you pay.
Hmm.
But the big one, the one that's universally expected,
Is thanking the driver when you get off.
always. You always thank the driver when you exit. It's just a small but really important courtesy.
Okay, let's get into the problems. Because no matter how polite you are, things go wrong. For trains, the big one is delays.
Oh, definitely. The train is often late. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes way more. And it's usually for reasons you can't control, like track problems or bad weather.
And that feeling of being delayed is so frustrating, especially if you're in a hurry.
It's incredibly frustrating. Now, the sources do say that savvy commuters have strategies. They use apps to see what the problem is, maybe find another route.
So they're not just passively waiting.
Exactly. They're actively managing that lost time.
Yeah.
And then the other big train problem is just the crowding, people pushing to get on.
Which the sources call out as just plain rude.
Explicitly rude. It's this moment where the system is overloaded and individual courtesy just breaks down. Now, for buses, the problems are different.
It's traffic.
Traffic. The bus gets stuck in traffic just like every other car, which can add 10 or 20 minutes to your trip. The train has its own path, but the bus is stuck in the gridlock with everyone else.
And there's also the noise.
Yeah, the bus engine can be really loud, and then you add people talking loudly on their phones on top of that. It just creates this really stressful, annoying environment for everyone.
So, with all these frustrations, delays, rudeness, noise, it's pretty clear why etiquette, just good manners, is so important.
It's the whole foundation of it. It's what makes these confined spaces tolerable. And for the train, the rules are mostly about respecting space.
So, rule one, do not push. Just wait your turn. Pushing is basically saying your time is more important than anyone else's.
Right. And then there's the noise. Don't talk loudly on your phone. If you have to take a call, just keep your voice down.
And the bag rule, this is a big one. Don't put your bag on the seat next to you.
No, the seat is for a person, not your stuff. Your bag goes on the floor by your feet. Using a seat for your bag is a major violation of that shared space idea.
And of course, the golden rule of audio.
Always use headphones. Always. Playing music or a podcast out loud is just universally seen as disrespectful.
Okay, so what about the bus? The rules are similar, but with a few key differences.
They are. Beyond thanking the driver, a lot of it is about respect for others and for the vehicle itself. We already talked about giving up the priority seats.
Which is just a clear sign of respect for people who need it more than you do.
Exactly. And then two others that seem so obvious, but you see them broken all the time. Keep your feet on the floor, not on the seats. And don't litter. The bus isn't your personal trash can.
It's about collective responsibility.
That's the perfect way to put it. But, despite all this potential for frustration, the sources also had these really wonderful stories about generosity.
Yes. I loved these. They're so restorative. Tell us the train story.
So there was this commuter, just exhausted after a long day, forced to stand on a packed train. And an older gentleman saw how tired he was, stood up, and just offered him his seat.
It's such a small thing, but it probably changed his whole day.
It did. He said it made a miserable trip feel better. And then the bus story is just a great example of empathy. A passenger realized they'd forgotten their card and their cash. They were starting to panic.
I can imagine that feeling.
Right. And the bus driver saw how stressed they were and just waved them on.
Yeah.
Said, "It's okay, just sit down."
Yeah.
It was an incredibly generous act.
It's amazing how these little moments of kindness stand out so much, probably because the baseline experience can be so stressful and anonymous.
I think that's exactly right. And speaking of managing that experience, the sources also noted how people use audio. It's quite strategic.
Right. In the morning, it's calm, relaxing music.
Yeah, to kind of ease into the day. But in the evening, they switch to something more energetic. It's a deliberate tool to stay awake and fight off the fatigue from the workday.
And the sources specifically mention that for you, the listener, using this travel time to listen to something productive, like an English learning podcast, it's a fantastic way to reclaim time that might otherwise feel wasted.
It really is.
So, to recap, we've covered a lot today. From the logistics, the train stopping everywhere versus the bus needing you to press the stop button, to the key phrases, and of course the etiquette that holds it all together.
And the big takeaway here, the so what, is that this knowledge really does empower you. It helps you move through a new city or just your daily commute with more confidence.
Knowing the unspoken rules helps you avoid conflict, and as we saw, good manners really do go a long way.
They do, and it brings us back to this idea that public transit, for all its flaws, is this massive shared space where your actions have a direct impact on the people around you. So we heard about the frustration of loud phone calls and people pushing, but we also heard about the power of an offered seat. So for you, our listener, we'll leave you with this to think about. Considering everything we've discussed, which single rule of etiquette do you think causes the most resentment when it's broken? Is it the pushing, or is it the loud talking? And why does that specific act feel like the ultimate violation of our shared space?
That's a great question to think about on your next ride.